Hey, hello, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good evening, probably where you are, mostly good evening, good morning. Let's build some stuff here today and stop that. Alright. Alright, who do we got in here today so far? Got some of you guys over there on YouTube. How's it going there? Michelle, Calamity Strike, Peacecraft, Ricky B, Gabo Samu, Ramon, Tenko, Andre, Koichi. Hey guys. Bit of a hectic morning here. Start of a kind of very busy, hectic day. But yeah, at least these two kits should go together relatively quickly. They're all denubbed, ready to go. So I think we're just gonna do the Death Army first. I mean, that's gonna be like really quick. Probably can put this kit together in about 10 minutes. So what's going on? Key, Speedball, Clay, Alif, how's it going, guys? When are you going to review the HGV2? Well, the V2 is also on deck to be built and reviewed, so very soon. Both look sweet. Kinda here, but busy. Alright, that's all good. Good morning from Singapore. Spidey over there on Twitch. Good morning there in Singapore. James and Dan on Facebook. Hey guys. Let's get to building the Death Army. Okay, actually I'll put this over here. I think. Or no, let's keep that there. Let's see. Michelle, hey from Chicago. Hey. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but my hometown is not too far from Chicago. I'm from Illinois. So are you going to do a live stream of the V2? And if so, when? I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream of the V2. Because the V2 has you build the core Gundam first. Well, there you go. The V2 has you build the core Gundam first, and then you build the V2 setup. Hey, how's it going, John? You build the setup separately. Was the V2 armor? I forget what it's called. Separately, and then you kind of combine them together. And so, like for the review, I would just have to or for like the live build, I'd build them separately. And like, I don't know, I guess I can if you guys really want to see that, but I don't know, I just don't think it'd be that interesting on a live build. I think it's better to, I think the more interesting thing would be for me to then put them together to make the full-on V2 Gundam, but that's just, I don't know if I can really be bothered, because then I have to take it apart again for the review and put it back together again for the review, and so it just takes more time for me, and so I don't know, I think my time would be better used for other stuff. Streaming other stuff, but I can tell you guys the next stream build, hoping to stream build this later this week, is going to be the border break kits. What's it called? The Kiseki. I forget what it's called. The new border break kit from Kotobukiya. It's going to be the next live stream, so hopefully that'll be maybe like Thursday morning, and then also. This week, also hopefully going to have a new interview video. So it's been a long while since I've had an interview, but got one lined up with a very special guest. And so, yeah. That's hopefully maybe going to be Friday morning. We'll have a new interview. And then this coming weekend, we also have Gunpla Talk, where John who's there in the chat. John is lined up to be our guest for this weekend's episode of Gunpla Talk. That's over there on Tim's channel. Oh no, by the way, in case you guys missed the last one, I think we just had one so far on Tim's channel. But Gunpla Talk's now on Tim's channel, but anyway, I'll be there, of course, live. So a lot of live stuff this week. We got this, and then hopefully streaming the Border Break kit, and then an interview, and then Gunpla Talk. So lots of stuff. There's the torso. That's it. And one thing I thought was a little bit strange about this is that they didn't give stickers for the black circles on the front of the chest for this. As you can see, here it has the black circles there. And for an HD kit, I mean, it would be nice if those were separate parts, but of course it makes more sense probably for an HD kit for them to just give us little black circle stickers for that. And then here on the lower legs as well. So it's kind of strange that they didn't. I mean, just because I paint, I don't really particularly care too much myself one way or the other, but I mean, just based on how I'm familiar with most Bandai kits, it seems like normally they would have given stickers for that, so it's kind of strange they didn't, but oh well. Hey. Hey Zach, has the new YouTube Gunpla affected your channel at all? Speedball, I'm not sure actually. I was just talking to a friend about that this morning, and I actually don't really know too much about that. I haven't really looked into it, so I need to look more into that. At the moment, as far as I can tell, it hasn't really affected me at all, but it's, I need to check into that. After building the torso, actually, you're supposed to build the head and arms and legs, and actually the waist is kind of last. But I just wanted to build the waist first. The colors of the Devil Army come together really well. Yeah, this shade is a pretty ugly one, to be sure, normally, but it works well for this one. And there's a couple little red accents on the front skirt here and on the head I think are nice. So yeah, it does end up looking pretty nice. This little bit here. And these guys for side skirts. It's definitely a cool design. I like, personally I like, between this and the Maganak, I actually, oops, that's backwards. I actually like the design of the Death Army here, the Dark Army Grunt, more than I like the design of the Maganak. The Maganak's cool though. And one cool thing, when I was doing the unboxing, I didn't notice here about the head, which I'll let you guys know about now, is that as we saw in the unboxing, there's two different stickers for the eye, for the mono eye, two different style of mono eye. Now I still don't know what the difference is between those, and I didn't see anyone clarifying that for me in the comments. If any of you guys know what the difference is between these two style of mono eyes for this, I don't remember offhand. But anyway, and then I mentioned in the unboxing video that I saw that the design is actually molded onto the part here, so that should be good for making it easier to paint. But the thing I didn't notice in the unboxing is that both style eyes are molded in here on the front and the back, so you can actually you could actually paint both eyes on there at the same time. You could just switch the head around, switch this part around. So you can actually, even if you're painting or not painting, whatever, you can use both style of mono eyes. You don't have to choose between one or the other. They're both available, and then you just pop the head apart, and then you can pick the one you want. So kind of like an SD style head where you just can turn around the eyes. And there's a different one on the front and back. So that's pretty cool. Let's stick the sticker on here though. Try to get that centered. There, and the other side. Probably more anime accurate, a little more modern looking. Yes, Speedball, that's what I was thinking, that the mono eye zooms in and out, or just kind of like changes from like an active and inactive version, or active and inactive form. So like when it's actually fighting or not. That's what I was thinking. What HGs are you hoping for in 2020, Zach? Well, I'm always hoping for more advanced Zeta stuff. That'll be nice. Other HGs I'm hoping for, I don't know, like, just the first thing that pops into my head would be an HG XAML. That'd be pretty cool. What would really be cool is if we get an HG sorry, no, what's that? RE100, sorry, just like zoning out. An RE100 XAML would really be super cool, but it'd be really big. I don't know, we've had obviously big REs, most notably with the Nightingale, but big REs is not totally out of the question, but personally I think, I don't know, which I would ultimately prefer, an RE or an HG XAML, but either an RE or HG XAML would be cool. I would love more HG stuff from Gundam Sentinel as well, but I think we're going to be getting more 1/100 scale stuff from that. I'm thinking that next year we'll get a Mark V and or a Nero from Gundam Sentinel, but we'll see. I don't know for sure, but Calamity, hey, is Alex joining the live stream? I'm not sure if Alex is joining the live stream. If he is around, he may. I don't know. I don't coordinate with him beforehand about joining live streams. If he's around, he'll join in if he wants to or not. He has no obligation to. He doesn't work for me or anything, so. He's just a good friend who likes to join and help out if he can. Alright, so now the legs, and I've got these bits on here. I have a feeling I could probably build this without using the instructions. We've been on a big Sentinel kick lately. I don't know if I would say that. I mean, we have the FAS coming out, which is from Sentinel, but other than that, I mean, there's not really a whole lot. From Sentinel. I guess there has been the 1.5 Master Grade XS, and then there was the Deep Striker before that. So, yeah, very kind of slowly, about every 6 months or something, they're coming out with a Sentinel MG. I guess it seems like, yeah, that's true. So this is the knee part, interestingly. I thought this was going to be the ankle part, actually. So, got our other polycap bone right here. Maybe our ankle part there. There we go. And close that up. And we've got, I guess aside from the side of the torso has a seam line on it there, not too surprising. But here, right down the center of, this would be the front or the back? It would be the back of the leg. Got a seam line there down the middle of the back of the leg, it looks like, unfortunately. But the front of the leg is covered up by this part that fits over the front. So no seam line on the front, but you will have a seam line there on the back. But I think that would be one. I probably wouldn't even worry about that. I would just turn it into a panel line, describe the edge of that, turn it into a panel line, and you don't have to worry about that because this knee part is sandwiched in between there. Then if I get rid of that seam line there at the back of the leg, then I have to modify the knee joint to be able to pull out of there or mask it or something. But turning it into a panel line will just save myself a headache. The foot just goes together very simply like that. Pops onto there. We can cover up the back of that with this rear ankle armor. Fits around there. That's another thing too. This part for the rear ankle armor, you kind of have to like stretch it over to fit into you. Pop in one side and then kind of bend it a little bit to pop into there. I'm always nervous about those parts when it comes to painting, because anytime you have to bend a part that's painted, I'm always worried it could crack the paint or something, so I'm not a fan of those kind of parts. Alright. Hey Dad. My dad is here once again. That. Then hip joints. These two parts here are the parts that you'll need for the feet if you're doing like the folded up legs. So those are just kind of extra. There we go. Short, simple little legs there. I think this is going to be a kind of short kit. I didn't know if I don't know the original like height of the Death Army design, if it's a little bit smaller than the typical Gundam. And also that hip joint feels kind of weak there. The connection to the hip feels good. It's a bit strange, but it looks a bit strange, but feels solid. But the connection from the like hip joint part at the top of the leg into like the thigh, it's on a ball joint, and it's a little bit loose there. It's a little bit jiggly. Yeah, as long as it doesn't fall off, I guess it's okay. But and also that single joint there at the knee is a bit weird. But I guess it has to bend like that for the backpack. How's that work? That just bends up like that, or what? How does that work? I'll have to check it later. How the legs fold up, but the single joint at the knee is kind of weird looking. Not feeling super good about the construction of the leg at the moment. Mato Kaiser said, did you see in the manual anywhere where they have the transformation added into the Devil Army kit? The transformation to just the folded up legs? I don't know exactly what you mean, but so it's just here. Apparently you just fold up or fold in. That's weird. Fold in that part there at the back skirt. And you're going to fold up the feet, whatever, and then fold up the legs. That's really weird. Is that right? It looks right. But something strange. I think. Aha! I put this part on backwards. Okay. That might explain it. This is the other side. Guess I should be checking the menu a little bit more carefully. There we go. And the knee joint band basically looks the same, so it's not really too much improved. But at least, on the other hand, holding the leg up behind it is much easier. So, okay. I was doing it wrong. But still, it's kind of weird that there's nothing like to plug this into there, to the back of the body. But it looks like it's holding it up there pretty well. Other thing is that we've got another seam line on the thigh as well. So the thigh is just two pieces front and back sandwiched together. So that piece though, there's nothing sandwiched between these parts. So getting rid of that seam line won't be a problem. It's just these two parts here for the thigh. You just have to sandwich those together like that. That's pretty much it. Blaster, it's the first stream you've caught. Congratulations. A little bit quiet there on Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is usually not as many people watching there. Chris, over there on Facebook, how's it going, man? yeah, sorry, I wasn't. Twitch usually not as many as on YouTube, of course. But, into there, so over here, close that up. The other thing that I want to kind of get back to doing, I think maybe I may have mentioned this, but now that I'm doing this full time and I have the time to do more stuff, the other thing that I want to get back to doing is the quick fix videos, where I want to just make a video about like how to fix like maybe some particular thing about some particular new kit that's out. So let's see. Yeah, that's right. So like just like that. So for example, for this kit, I'm not sure at the moment, like what that would be, but like for example, fixing like how to fix the seam lines on this particular kit. Because like there's a lot of videos out there about like how to remove seam lines or how to paint certain details or how to modify certain bits or something. But I think it'd be good, as I've kind of done a couple of them in the past, to do those videos about particular new kits, like fixes specifically for this whatever new kit is out. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like the very chunky legs he's got there. Cool proportions for this kit, I think. Sumo, what's up? The Toll Trolls, what's up? Raptor is building while watching. What are you building over there, Raptor? Let's see. Arms. Shoulders. I want to do the shoulder parts first. Okay. So that should be pretty simple. This here. The Gym Sniper 2. Master grade or high grade? I'm assuming the master grade. But another seam line here on the top of the shoulder. And this part is very oddly designed. For like the circle dot things here for the side of the arm. MG, yes, of course. Seems like after the MG Gym Sniper 2 came out, I think Bandai kind of shot themselves in the foot on sales of the HG, because I don't know how many people are going to really be building the HG much anymore now that the Master Grade is out, because it's a relatively cheap and very good Master Grade. I'm sure there's still people who will enjoy the high grade, but I'm sure its sales took a big hit when Bandai released the MG. But then again, the MG has been very successful, so I mean, they win either way. It's all good. Is that on there correctly? Is that also backwards? It's supposed to be like that? I don't think so. Should be like that, right? Why does that look weird? Hey, when do you get your P-Bandai? Where do you get your P-Bandai kits from? Mostly they're ordered through official P-Bandai here in Korea. Outside of Korea, outside of Japan, Korea is one of the few countries that has P-Bandai. So, oh shit. Missed a step there. Not always able to get everything, because sometimes stuff gets sold out really quick, but as long as I'm able to grab one while stuff is available, I can get stuff through P-Bandai here in Korea. Another seam line there on the forearm as well. HD seam heavy kit, it seems. It seems. What's that? The other thing, common, thank you for your donation here. Do I need primer if I'm using the marker airbrush? I would say yes. Anytime you're going to be doing a substantial amount of painting on the kit, even whether it's airbrushing or rattle cans or the marker airbrush, I would say yeah, it'd be good to prime first. Very interesting design for the shoulders here. So let me just put this part on here. So I mean, while this is an HG and the seam lines should be kind of expected for an HG, this kit does have a lot of them, I'm noticing. But interesting here, this is the shoulder connection into the body, so you can see like how far the arm is set out away from the body, like that. It's pretty interesting. It's really far out there, but once you pop the shoulder armor on there, it doesn't look that strange because it looks like it's coming out the center of the shoulder armor there, like how it's supposed to, but kind of interesting there. So yeah, I would say yeah, even if you're using the marker airbrush, I would say yeah, you'd want to prime first. You can do that just with a rattle can of primer, it's easy enough. Hey, what's the best, cheap, and good HG you can recommend? Best, cheap, and good? The R782 Revive kit is both very cheap and very good. Also, maybe the Grays. The HG Armboat Orphans line has a lot of very cheap and good kits, so a lot of them though also very sticker and or seam line heavy kits on them, so I mean, like they have the kind of usual drawbacks of HG kits for the most part. But the Grays, for example, is very low on seams and very low on stickers, so that would be, I think, maybe one of the better ones. Bluefin added a few more pre-orders recently. Yeah, I saw that they had the Hazenplay 2 Raw, and I think it was the Leo full set, right, that they added for P-Bandai releases for North America. So that's good for you guys there to be able to get a couple of pretty awesome kits there. The Leo kit doesn't really particularly offer a whole lot new necessarily, but it is a good kit. This side, I just wanted to check construction of the arm here. There, this one up onto there. Now, I'm not sure if we'll have time. We'll see how quickly the second V goes together. But one thing that I'd like to do with you guys here live, if we have time, is put together the my gold Narrative Gundam C-Packs kit that I've been working on. Just before the live stream, I just sprayed the last few parts just with the last little bit of top coat that they needed. So it's ready for assembly. And so if we have time after building the second V, I'll do the final assembly of that live on stream here with you guys. That'll be fun. Anyway, here's the Death Army. Yeah, very simple design indeed. So that's a wrap on that guy. It's just Amos asked, where's Gunpla news? Actually, that's what I have planned for this afternoon, is recording a new episode of Gunpla news. So that'll be either tonight or early tomorrow. That'll be posted either tonight or like around this time tomorrow. So Gunpla News is coming back. It's returning. I haven't done it for a couple months, but yeah, we'll be back and a little bit different. So I'll talk more about that in the actual news video. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit different than it's been in the past. Yeah. Lee, I'm not going to read your full name because if I read your full name and your comment, it's going to maybe sound like I'm not reading someone's name in a comment. I'm just reading a comment, but yes, that was fast. It was a very quick build, and this build will be a little bit more complicated. The second V definitely has a lot more parts to it, but it's still an HG, so it's not super complicated, and it's very small. So it does have a lot more stickers on it though as well. So we'll have to kind of pay attention to the manual so that I don't miss those. I very often and easily overlook where to place the stickers on while I'm building. So I'm just kind of going, and don't notice that. But let's check it out here. Alright, this torso part. There's a good amount of leftover parts with this kit, but not really as much as I was expecting. There's a good handful, but there's quite a lot new with this kit. Oops, already messed up. I'm supposed to put this yellow piece in here first, before the polycaps. There we go. Where'd that go? Yellow piece for the vents, the front of the chest. Zach, this all for the Death Army. This all for the Death Army. Now go to your cardboard coffin. Yes, exactly. Back in the coffin with you. But no, so since we just built up the Death Army kit, maybe I'll pose the question to you guys. Is there any, like, as far as doing like a quick fix video for that, is there anything in particular that you guys maybe saw with the Death Army kit, or anything that you know of with the kit so far that you would like to see done for like a quick fix video, some sort of modification or something that you think would be cool to do for that, or just kind of seam line removal video and how to remove the seams on that, because as we saw, it does have a lot of seams on there. So which do you think would be more interesting or more useful? If you guys have any other ideas aside from just seam line removal for that, then let it be known here in the chat, and then that'll be something that I can work on. Alright, there's the chest, and the color separation on this, compared to the Death Army, it's night and day. Look at that. You have this gray piece behind the red cockpit piece, and you even have two little bits of gray that poke through the red cockpit piece, and then like the yellow part there for the vents, and the vents up here at the top of the torso with the white parts, and the little bits of blue poking through there. That's some pretty nice color separation there for this tiny little torso on the second V. Bloody paint job. I'm not sure if that's bloody as in like blood, or if you mean like just you would like to see a paint job on it. Painting the mono eye detail, okay. Customizing the weapon. I'm not sure what I could really do with that. I'll think about that. Any other ideas? Let's see here. Patiently waiting for the Hazenplate to come in from Samuel Decal. Just got the second V in earlier this week and excited about it, yeah. So, well, yeah, it looks really nice, and you'll definitely love the Hazenplate as well, for sure. Can you use the Wing of Light effects parts with the second V? I'm not sure, because I think the backpack's a little bit different, so I'm not sure if the Wing of Light parts will also work for this. I'll have to check. Oil. Drake McDoolawyer is saying you would like a video on painting and then also using oil paints for the weapon. Seeming like just some like oil kind of like weathering to look like oil On weapon? I'm not sure what he's talking about. Am I planning on building the RG Unit 1? Come on. It's me. Yes, of course I'm planning on building the RG Ava kit. I'm sure I've talked about this in past videos, but in case any of you guys have never heard me talk about this, Ava, Gundam and Ava are like the only two anime series that I watch. Or like, I mean, I've watched a handful of other things, but like, I don't watch a whole lot of anime. Like, these days I just don't watch it at all, because I just don't have time, but, like, in my life, it's been, like, Gundam and Ava have been, like, the two big things for me, so, I'm a really big Evangelion fan, and so I'm definitely looking forward to building that kit. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that I don't build very many Ava kits. There's not that many out there, but there is a handful of Ava kits out there, obviously, and I haven't built a whole lot here on my channel. So I can maybe understand why it may not be super apparent that I'm a big Ava fan. So I don't really build a lot of them. But personally, I just kind of, I'm not really as much into like building Ava kits as I am just a fan of the anime and just like the designs and stuff in general. I actually have probably more Ava figures, like the UFO, like prize grabber figures. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 different Ava figures. So I much prefer those just because of the nature of the designs of them. I think it's like the seams and gaps of joints and things like that as kits aren't as convincing as if you have just like a full-on just a PVC figure. But anyway, yes, I am looking forward to the RG. It looks really cool, and I will have to build some more Ava kits in the future. It's something I've got a handful of them, and one that is kind of like a work in progress. So I'll definitely try to be working in more Ava stuff here in the nearish future. Do you think the Ava units will get full RG kit lineup? I don't know. I'd say it's probably likely that we'll get at least one more Ava kit aside from Unit 1. I'd say we'll definitely get one more, but it will probably be P Bandai. If we get two more, then maybe one will be P Bandai and one will be regular release. So like maybe we'll get Unit 0 as a P Bandai release, and then a few months later we'll get Unit 2 as another full standard release. Something like that would be my guess, if I had to guess. Alright, so head, obviously we've got some stickers here for the eyes and the cameras. I guess the eyes are cameras, but you know what I mean. Tiny little stickers here for this. 3, okay, so you have option here whether you want to use sticker 3 or 4. The sticker 4 has a little bit of red across the bottom of it, across the bottom of the eyes, which I think will look better, but it might be a little bit trickier to get on there. Oh, oh, no, okay, I'm gonna go with that. The part is red, and that plastic is already red, so the really only purpose of using that sticker is that it gives you the panel lines under the eyes already there in black. But not really too worried about that at the moment. We'll leave that on there. Just stick this tiny sticker on here for the eyes. I need to see what I'm doing here. Amos, would you like to see more mecha series in the Real Grade line? Possibly. I think it doesn't necessarily have to be in the real grade line though. Like for example, we had the high grade Full Metal Panic kits coming out last year from Bandai, which are really nice. And I don't really particularly care if they're, you know, released as high grades or real grades, master grades, or just something completely different. That grade doesn't really particularly matter to me, but I'm always open to getting some more cool mech designs coming out from Bandai. You know, obviously, Bandai makes some really great kits, so if they're making some new cool stuff, I'm always open to that. And the fin is super tiny and fragile. So it's, you have two in there, and I think that is meant for, because I think with the original Victory kit, you also could build the Core Fighter. I think you needed a second V-fin for, is why you have two. But the nice thing is with this that you don't need two V-fins, but you have two, which is good to have because you might need a spare in case you break one. So it's good that they gave us two. So that, I mean, the color separation on this is pretty amazing for a high-grade kit, and especially for a tiny, tiny high-grade kit. Well, even inside here, inside the vents on the side of the head, you have color that's color separated. It's red. I don't think it's supposed to be red. It's supposed to be just gray. But it's the red piece there for under the eyes and the chin piece, and then in here on the sides of the head there. So that's pretty amazing. Homeless Dragon asks, "Hey Zach, how much paint do you usually use per kit?" That depends a lot on if you're spray painting or hand brushing or airbrushing. Airbrushing and hand painting are the most efficient, because then you'll waste less paint. So on a I'll just kind of take this as a side note to talk a little bit about using rattle cans. So usually I see people will say that using spray cans is good for beginners to get a hang of painting, which I do agree with, but it's something that I would also give the caveat of don't do it for too long, because people will say, oh, an airbrush is expensive, using spray cans is cheaper or whatever, but using spray cans is most certainly not cheaper in the long run, because spray cans will cost you, $6, $7 per can, assuming you're using like actual modeling paints like Tamiya or Mr. Color spray cans and not using like just like generic spray paint. If you're using modeling paint spray cans, $6, $7, if not more, for a can, and you need one for primer, you need one for top coat, that's two right away. And then assuming you only use two colors for a kit, that's four, let's say, times $7 a pop, so $28 already that you're using for paints. Compared to if you're airbrushing, one bottle of primer, one bottle of top coat, and two colors would probably cost you half that, and you could use them for at least twice as much parts. So like the $28 you use for all the cans you need for just one kit and only using two colors, for half of that amount of money you could paint probably twice as much. So I don't know if that's making sense. If that makes sense, hopefully, hopefully that makes enough sense. But yeah, so if you just wanted to paint one kit and never paint again, then yeah, using spray cans would be cheaper. But if you want to paint at least somewhat regularly, an airbrush is much cheaper in the long run, and it just gives you much more control. Mixing paints is obviously something that you can do. You can't really do that with spray cans. So you can make a lot more custom colors, and you can just do so much more with an airbrush than you can with the spray can, and it's much less wasteful. With an airbrush, with a spray can, you get a wider spray, and you're wasting a lot of paint. With an airbrush, it's much more fine and controlled spray, so you'll still get some waste, but most of the paint is actually going onto the part. So yeah, that's just 2 cents about that. So how much, to answer your question specifically then, how much paint do I usually use per kit? Yeah, I don't know. It'd be like, usually for a kit, let's say for example I'm using 4 different colors, 1 color for like the inner frame and then 3 colors for the main body of the mobile suit. For example, like each color I would use less than half a bottle of paint, probably, for a high grade. You know, if it's something like a master grade or anything larger, then it's a different story, but for like a high grade like this, yeah, it'd be less than half, much less than half a bottle for each of the different colors. Alright, there's our tiny little foot, which looks very cool. Got a little bit of hollow spaces up underneath the foot here, but still looks really good. I like that. Don't forget about the humidity with spray cans. Yeah, humidity, heat, cold are also more things that you need to worry about more so with spray cans than airbrush, I think, as well. But the airbrush as well, you still do have to worry about that a little bit, but again, you have more control in that you can use a moisture trap, you can use a dust trap, things like that to help make sure that you're getting a good spray. And those things are just add-on things for your airbrush that, again, don't really cost a whole lot in the long run. So hopefully, hopefully that answers your question for you. There are a ton of airbrush tutorials. Yeah, there's a lot of airbrush tutorials online. I know enough to get by, but I'm very much not the right person to ask like for expert airbrush knowledge. I'm most certainly not an expert on the topic. I just know enough to be able to make the stuff that I like to make. But there's always room to learn more. Also, aside from just the much better color separation compared to the Death Army kit, the seam lines on this kit, seam lines are also much less prevalent. Best advice for learning how to airbrush, just do it. No amount of watching or reading will get you enough to know. Yeah, burning, that's a very good point that just practice makes perfect, but I mean, you do need at least a little bit of knowledge to go in, so I would say, yeah, I mean, watch a couple tutorials just so that you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. But yeah, you don't need to worry about bogging yourself down with watching every single tutorial that you can find, spending weeks and weeks and weeks doing tons of research and everything like that. That's unnecessary. But I mean, watch a couple tutorials. I would really recommend Henry's tutorial. He did some really good ones on airbrushing. He just did it simple and I think easy to understand. That'd be Vegeta 8259 previously. His channel is now changed to just Henry McClellan, but Henry's tutorials are good. And then another, I can't remember the name, and maybe I'm sure one of you guys will know, be able to help me out. There was a tutorial, like an airbrush series as well, that was done by a guy who I think does more so kind of like miniature painting and stuff. So not really particularly Gunpla, but I found just his airbrush videos also, again, kind of simple and good, easy to understand. He was a kind of big guy with glasses, and I think it was like, I can't remember the name of the channel or anything, but if that rings a bell to any of you guys, put it there in the chat, and I'll recognize the name, and other people can know, but I can't remember the name offhand. It was not Miniac, no. And this is a series that's been around for a while. Lester Bursley? I don't think so, no. I don't think so. I don't think that's right. There's the victory leg. And I'm sure we've got some stickers here on the leg, number 11. This has better part separation. Yeah, better part separation, yes, compared to the original kit. I believe so, yeah. I think that was one of the highlights that they were pointing out about this kit. Consortium? I don't think that's right here. Let me check quickly here. Consortium, that sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not sure. That's an orc painter? So 0. Sorry guys, I'll check. Sorry. Because some of those names you guys are throwing out do sound familiar, but I'm not sure. There's going to be a ton on here. I'm probably going to have a hard time finding it, but. How should you really? How much should you really spend on your first airbrush? I've seen for 63. That's the other good question, James. I wouldn't really particularly recommend going for like the cheapest airbrush that you can find. Ah, here it is. Yeah, scale model consortium. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Flipnut had it right. Consortium. Yes. Sorry for the ad. Here, I'll just show you guys. Yeah, the channel is Scale Models Consortium. And there's a series of, he did a series of them, and they're called Airbrushing for the Beginner. Anyway, yeah. This.
That's my channel. That's a cross-channel video. It's a video that covers for both hobbies.
Yeah. So like the first video in the series was just about buying an airbrush setup, and then about workspace and paints, and then I think the third video was maybe about like cleaning and maintenance or something like that. So it's a couple of simple videos that, but I thought they were helpful. I liked it. So yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. Yeah, James asked about how much you should spend on an airbrush. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend getting the absolute cheapest airbrush that you can find, because like anything, you're gonna get what you pay for. So if you spend $60 for an airbrush now, that's gonna last you 6 months. Then you got to buy another one at that time. So then you're probably gonna want a more expensive one at that time. So maybe then your second airbrush you're gonna buy for $100 or whatever. You buy it because you're gonna buy like a little bit nicer one. When you could have just bought the $100 airbrush from the start and save yourself $60. So I would recommend get a good enough one from the start. You don't have to get the most expensive one you can find, obviously, but I would recommend get a good one from the start, so that way you're just set, because it's gonna last you longer. You're gonna have less problems with it. I don't know. Other people might have different advice, but that makes sense to me. So that's what I would recommend. How much should you expect to pay, though? I think for a pretty good airbrush, I mean, probably around $80 to $100. I mean, even at that kind of lower price range, I think they're probably still pretty good. And some people will probably say you can get good ones for cheaper as well. Why is this sticker not really fitting on here well? It seems like it's supposed to fit around the outside of this part, but it's not really fitting around the outside, so okay. Who's that? That would be what? Ranshan is watching from Japan. Yeah, and, the Lee, that's a good point about the compressor too. The compressor I think is less important. You usually can get by on a cheaper compressor, as in like a non-name brand one. Again, I wouldn't really recommend going for the absolute dirt cheapest thing that you can find, but uh, a non-name brand, it's like off-brand compressor, I think should be enough, should be fine. Okay. So yeah, all in all, I think for the airbrush, the compressor, and some paints to get you started, you should be, and then some sort of exhaust fan as well. Probably all in all, you should be looking probably around between $200 and $300 for everything just to get you set up, which may seem like a lot. And I think this is probably where I think where a lot of people may struggle with justifying getting into painting because uh, just a lot of people will think like, oh, $200, $300. Think of all the kits that I can buy with that. And so that's, I think, one of the things that prevents a lot of people from taking that step. I think generally a lot of like modelers will maybe think that like people don't want to get into painting because they're just like afraid of getting into painting for whatever reason. It's like it's intimidating. It's an intimidating step, something to get into. But I think it's probably just as much, if not more, about just the price justification. Maybe their funds for modeling stuff is limited, and so they would rather spend that kind of money to just get some more new kits. So makes sense, and I can understand that. Or you can brush paint. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, Jerry. Yes, you can also, of course, also hand brush. That's something I definitely don't have a lot of experience in, so I can't talk a lot about that. But yes, just make sure you thin the paints. Definitely. You're gonna be, well, I mean, for any type of painting, as long as you're using paints that aren't pre-thinned, you definitely need to use thinner as well. Alright, how do you paint the red circle? How do you paint the red circles on the V2 Verka? The V2 Verka, I believe, comes with water slides for that, right? So I would probably just use the water slides if I were you. But if you wanted to paint them, I would say you probably would need a circle template, just something to create a circular mask. So you just need to lay out your masking tape and then just make a circle on that, make a second circle to make a ring of masking tape, or the inner and outer circle to make the masking tape for that. A little bit annoying and time consuming, so I think the better bet would just be using water slides if you can. Plenty of different ways. Also seconded Henry's tutorials, yeah. Also, it's a time of year for sales, so shop smart next call once you Yes, good point. Yeah, so, with all the with it being kind of sale season around, obviously Black Friday and then Christmas sales. Uh, yeah, hopefully there'll be different sites where you can get some, if you're interested in airbrushing. Obviously kits, of course, as well, but airbrushing stuff. It's a good time to get that sort of stuff as well. Yes, good point. Brian, thank you for uh, your contribution. No question, just saying hi and supporting the channel. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Feel free to ask a question, though, too, if you have anything you want to ask, of course. Or just enjoy the building. I really want to... I'm supposed to put this part in first. Let's see if I can cram it in there. I'll probably not need to take this part. Really want to get that narrative Gundam done and dusted. So really hoping to get this thing all built up together so that we can also put the narrative Gundam C-Packs together here with you guys on live stream. That'd be cool, right? Never done that before. Doing the final assembly of a kit on live stream. Feeling like I'd be kind of nervous, more nervous than usual doing final assembly, because if anything breaks or cracks or get some paint chips or anything like that on live stream, that'd be embarrassing. But not that embarrassing. It happens. It happens to everyone, so I wouldn't really be that embarrassed about it. But there is, he's a little guy, that's for sure. A little bit later on, once we get some more done here, I'll pull out a different kit for a little size comparison for you guys. But I think most of you are probably pretty well aware about the teeny tiny size of the Victory Gundams. Yeah, despite its small size, the part separation so far is very nice. And yeah, like I mentioned before, the part separation as well as the lack of seam lines. Pretty much all the seams are disguised as panel lines, so that's good. Or I guess it's just one of the good things about the design of this particular Gundam. To be fair to the Death Army kit, I think the design is maybe a little bit trickier to hide some of those seam lines as panel lines. They could have just given it a lot of panel lines, like they do, like with different RE kits, whatever. But now, I want to pause that for a minute and make sure that I haven't missed any stickers on the parts that I've assembled so far. Okay, it doesn't look like it, so alright. Then onto the arms. I went to Anime NYC today and they showed off the new MG Barbatos. It looks amazing. Are you excited? Yeah, Brian, I'm excited for the Barbatos. Just because I'm excited for any new Master Grade kit. It's always fun. But that said, the Barbatos is not my absolute favorite design. If I got to be the one to choose what would be the next Master Grade, I wouldn't have chosen the Barbatos, but it's gonna be a cool kit for sure. And I think I may have mentioned this in the previous stream or something when we were also talking about this, but I'm kind of more excited to see what else they make from IBO after the Barbatos, because I think I would much prefer like a Master Grade Vidar or something like that. I think it'd be more interesting for me personally. Honestly, Master Grades of any of them, though, to be honest, feel a little bit unnecessary, just because the 1/100 scale non-grade kits or the full mechanics kits, I think are really good 1/100 scale kits. Obviously, they're missing the full effect of the full inner frame, but the detail is there. They have a ton of detail. They look really cool. So don't think they really particularly needed kits, but hey, we're getting them, so I'm sure they'll be interesting. And at the very least, I like that they toned down some of the weird detail on the mace handle. When that was first announced, I was mentioning how it looked like a bedpost. It's like really overly detailed. Jacking up the stickers on this kit a little bit, but it's okay. There you are. Oh, hey Alex. Morning. Lemony's been asking about you. Edward says, Zach, what's going on with Tim? I don't know what's going on with Tim. He won the online portion of GBWC in America, so congratulations to him. But I don't know what else is going on with him. Is there something going on with Tim? I don't know. Not that I know of. Very interesting way that little elbow part is connected. And uh-oh. I think that's right. No streams? Yeah, I guess he's just been busy. If Tim has not been streaming, I'm sure, I mean, I haven't checked his social media, but I would assume he's probably mentioned, if he's not streaming, he's probably mentioned somewhere on his social media why he's not streaming. But I would assume, yeah, just because I know he went to SCGMC not too long ago, so I know he was there for that, and I think this past weekend he also went to Anime NYC. I believe he was there too, possibly. But we talked about it, but I can't remember if he said if he was actually there or not. I don't know. But yeah, he's been busy traveling around, I think, and then just getting all this stuff together and all that. So I would say that's probably the reason. And onto there. All right, and we got a couple more stickers for this. Not that you saw any, we haven't seen anyone on social media mentioning about that. Okay. Well, other than that, I don't particularly know of any particular reason why he wouldn't be streaming more, but I would just say it's probably just because he's been busy with that stuff. Oh, nice. He was at NYC too. Yeah, Brian, I think he went to NYC, but I'm not sure. Get on there. There we go. They probably, yeah, Haven't played Death Stranding and most likely won't play Death Stranding unless I play it like 5 years later or something like that. I'm not playing it anytime soon. Yeah, I don't have a PS4 and just don't really do the game. But of course, it looks awesome, and I'll probably watch some playthrough videos. I haven't started to, but I'm sure probably this week I'll watch some videos on that. Gotta say, definitely the worst part about this kit so far is the stickers. Just the circle bits just don't really fit very well. But there we are. And let's get that other arm built. Mediocre boy has never owned a PlayStation, not even the original PlayStation. Are any of you guys playing Death Stranding? Looks pretty cool. I'm interested to watch some playthrough videos just because I want to see what the hell is going on in that game, because from the trailers, it's pretty hard to tell what you're actually doing or what's actually going on in the game at all. So I'm interested to see some more about it. No PS4. Red Dead Redemption 2. Alex is playing. Enjoying that GTA Old West. Working on the Hazel Custom, my Gunpla Haru Woundwort Monster Mash Kit. It sounds like quite the monster indeed. And if you like cinematic games, you'll like Death Stranding. Well, yeah, I certainly like cinematic stuff, for sure. That's one thing I've always liked about some of the Metal Gear games. I've always been on the side of enjoying the cutscenes more so than the other side of people who complain about the super long cutscenes. Let's see. Just trying to put the stickers on this arm a little bit better. Blaster, see you later. Aha. I was supposed to use these little black stickers in the head. Oops. Let's see. I want another 2D Battle Assault fighter game with Kermel suits. Yeah, if they made like a Gundam Battle Assault 3, it's another 2D fighting game, that'd be pretty cool. I could enjoy that for sure. This one. That's done. The question is now, do I want to pull the head apart in order to put the stickers in where they're supposed to go in there? So, I mentioned the vents on the side of the head in here are red. Well, you're supposed to use these stickers in there, and then that would turn them black. I think I may just leave them red. the time being. The curve part at the back, this one on top of here. This shoulder part here. Right, like that. We should have a watch party for G Savior. Yeah, it's on YouTube. So I don't know if I would get a if I streamed watching G Savior if I would get a copyright strike for that or not. Probably. There we are. I will say the hands look too big for this, for the design. I think they needed to make the hands a little bit smaller. Now we have the backpack and all the weapons stuff is all kind of together here, so it would be kind of a lot of parts for all of this next step. Robojocks. Yeah, Kieran Han made Kieran there in Australia told me about Robojocks. I'd never heard of it, never seen it before, and then he told me about that sometime last year. It's disowned by Sunrise, so it might be alright. Okay. I'll think about that. Doing a live stream Savior party. I tried watching Savior once, and I just couldn't watch it. I was like, this is not interesting at all. Chobo Rocks. Well, I've seen the new Star Wars game looks pretty good. Yeah, the new Star Wars game is popping up all over my recommended on YouTube. I'm just seeing tons of recommended videos of playthrough videos for Star Wars. So I've been thinking about watching that as well because big fan of Star Wars, but just not a lot of time again for playing the game myself. So I've been thinking about just watching some of that as well. Some playthrough of that game. What's it called? I forget. I don't remember what it's called offhand, but alright. Swings here. This one. Slot down into there. I won't play it because EA. Down for a G Savior party. Exia, we've been building Gunpla wrong, just cutting out pieces you need per step. Yeah, cutting out pieces that you need for each step is not wrong by any means, it's just much slower. So that's why I do it a little bit differently. Let's see, then this part, and let's put those up there out of the way. I'm doing this one. Like that. And like that. So top of here. And so here. So it looks like the Wing of Light parts should still work with this because I believe that's the same slot that they slot into there on the inside. So looks like yes, this should work. And the left side. Plug this in the opposite way. Okay. Cover that up. And this on top of here. Edward, good night. Zach, good night. I lost my file. We on, sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, first of all, by the way, on Facebook asked how many stickers on this kit? 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26 or 27, depending on the 2 different stickers for the eyes. If you want to count those as 1 or 2. 2 different options for that. In this part here, center of the backpack, we need 1 part to go in first. This one. Go into here, and this cap part here on the top. That for our backpack. And these parts, wing parts on there. Like that. And wait, that's not right. That one. This side. And that's it on the other side. Okay, that's not right. In a very specific way, these parts need to go together, so I'm trying to pay attention, make sure I'm putting them together right. Alright, that seems correct. Maybe we can plug this onto his back then. Like that. There you go, he's certainly looking a little bit more bulked out now. And okay, alright. Henry is saying yes, the Death Army has been finished. Finish that one first right away. Do you think we'll get a Barzam 2 model kit from Advanced Zeta? Sumo, I kind of doubt that we'll get a Barzam 2 from Advanced Zeta, but, you know, on the other hand, who knows? I never would have guessed that we ever would have got like a Hazenplay 2, so who knows what could happen at this point. But if I had to take a guess on like which Advanced Zeta stuff might still be coming out, I wouldn't guess the Barzam 2, but we'll just have to see, I guess. These guys go on there, then. I love the design of the cannon on this version of the Victory Gunman. Super cool. Just like that. And then the sticker, I imagine, goes in the barrel of that. Just to fill in the barrel there so it looks hollow. And this camera sticker is not going on there. Where's that going? It's 13. Oh, on the beam rifle. Let's just go ahead and put that together while we're here. Two stickers here for the camera for the beam rifle, one under and one over. And this one on the top. I'm going to go ahead and leave out the stickers in the head, for the vents in the head for the time being, because it's okay. You're nervous about pulling the head apart. And I have to eventually at some point, but don't want to have to do it any more than I have. I don't want to do it any more than I have to. And there you go. Love that bulked out beam rifle design as well. So there's that, and then you got this part in here for the handle of the cannon, right? Only comes out to there. Fold that back, put that handle onto there, like that, so that will, how will that actually connect onto there? Like this? I don't know, okay, we'll wait on that, but love the design of that cannon, very cool. And the rifle, now the shield parts. Hey, what's the best kit that is $49 or less that I can get? I don't know. $49 or less? Yeah, I don't know. The real grade new Gundam's pretty good. I don't know. That's a tough one. There's a lot. There's a lot of really great kits that you could get within that price range. I think it would help if you could at least narrow it down to like a particular grade, like you want a high grade or master grade or real grade, and then any particular series, like if you wanted UC or non-UC. Those things could help narrow down the answer to your question, I think. Ready? Uh-huh. There we are. Thoughts on the new PG Strike? Brian, I like it. We talked about this one last time too. I like some of the new detail designs of that. I'm not totally sold on all the new aspects of the design, but I think it does look pretty cool. And some people may not like the fact they're making this like a 1.5 PG Strike when people would prefer having some other new, entirely new PG. But I'm fine with it. And important thing to remember too is that usually when Bandai does this kind of thing, it's just because they need to make up some revenue. So maybe from a kit that they produced that didn't didn't get as much return as they expected. So they need to recover some money. So that's why they'll just put out something simple like this, or they're saving up to make something else really cool. These parts are a little bit different. Let's see. Stored condition is not this one. This is the one. So Bandai is making the PG Strike, which seems like a lazy release. Let's just hope that that means that they've got something much more interesting in the works for us. What the hell? Okay. Onto there, onto there. Sort of like that. The connection for that doesn't seem super strong, but it's on there anyway. There's our shield bits. So you will have to kind of parts form those shield parts. So when you're actually using them like in use on the arm as a shield, you'll have to connect them onto this different piece here for that. Wrong side, there we go. Alright, so anyway, there it is. Let's see, how do these parts actually connect onto the backpack? Because it's a bit strange. Here and here. And there we are. Looking very nice. Let me adjust the camera so you guys can see that a little better. Hang on. Just a moment. Raise that up a bit. And adjust our focus. Right there. And let's the exposure down a little bit so you guys can see that's not drowned out. There we are, yeah, he's looking pretty cool, I will say. What's your thoughts about the new YouTube conditions towards toy reviewer? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I don't really know too much about that yet, so I need to look more into it. Do you guys think Bandai or do you think Bandai will expand the 30-minute missions to more than side series? I don't know what Bandai's plans for 30-minute missions will be as far as any sort of expansions. But I would like to see Bandai make more kind of like mobile armor kind of stuff, or like larger stuff with a 30-minute missions line. Would be kind of interesting, I think. So that's a wrap on that stuff. Let's put together the narrative Gundam, shall we? Let me grab it over here. So I've got some parts on here which just got top coated. And then a bunch more parts in here. But I'm going to run to the bathroom first, so hang on just a minute, and then we'll put this kit together. Whew. Alright. Builders, parts, or Kotobukiya beam server. I believe Thunderbolt started up like last year. Alright. Fix these windows. Where's that? Where's the window? I don't know. Anyway, it's really cool. Like that thing, yeah. Everything come out okay. Yeah, the black and white made it look like you're no longer live. Anyway, yeah, let's get this put together. I need the instructions for the shield, which are over here. So all the parts are kind of all over the place. So that and this one here. All the gray parts for the inner frame and everything, like the frame and mechanical parts, I sprayed in flat coat. So, there's a tight connection there. Need to get that closer together. Ideally without damaging anything. Well, this being a really tight fit. Here, nice shield parts. There we go. So yeah, I did flat coat for all the gray mechanical parts and everything. And all the metallic and psycho frame stuff obviously is all glossy. Brian, thank you again, and good night. Zach, what is your favorite Gundam YouTube channel? I don't really watch much Gunpla YouTube videos, really, to be honest. Let's see. I always end up putting these parts on backwards, so I'm trying to make sure I put them on correctly. And I already put that one on wrong. This side on first, then this side on here. They're kind of bent a little bit, warped a little bit like that. But there's our shield parts on there. And then we need this part. And this part we're going to need the handle part. Let's see. This one. This one. This one. It's all shield parts. And this one is the one I'd be needing. And so this will pop into there. Slide that down to there, and the handle part goes on like that over the top of that. Don't like how tight that is. Oh, it did scratch that up a little bit. I'll have to touch up the paint on that. It's really tight fit, so it got a little bit scratched up. Easy enough to fix that, it looks like. So I'm going to connect that onto here. There's the back of that. And the front part of the shield onto here. Wait. Let's see. You guys are talking about the Gundam screening. It's a little bit tight. I don't think that's quite plugged on there all the way. There we go. Should be enough. Alright. So there's the main shield. Then we get it to all of the DE parts. Here. And here. There and there. I don't know how open those should be. Ultimately, something like that. And these parts. Like this. That's for this one. Nope, that's for this one. Hello. Hello, you. I can't read that name, but hello. Yes, this is not the RG Unicorn shield, it's just a bootleg shield. It's a copy of the RG shield. Yeah. This looks like this. It's a box. It comes with a pack of 2 armed armor DE shields. Quality of them is not that great, obviously, but seems well enough for serving my purposes here for this one. So yeah, the box comes with a set of 2 of them. The other one I'm planning on using with the HG Shinanju Stein Unicorn version. It's like with the Master Grade, how the Master Grade can use the Armed Armor DE shield. I want to do that with the High Grade as well. Now with the High Grade, I don't think it's meant to use the DE shield, so it's probably not going to work super well right out of the box. I will probably have to do a little bit of modification for that. This is gonna fit on here. Like that. It's also gonna be kind of tight squeeze to get this to fit on here. Seems like it would have been easier to connect this onto that before putting the whole thing together, but anyway. And so these will also open up. Like that. I need to check an image of what this is supposed to look like when it's opened up. Indeed also asked my thoughts on the Kappa. I don't know how it's pronounced. But, yeah, again, I don't know about that. I haven't looked into it, so I'm not sure. RG. RMODE. Let me check how this is supposed to look once it's opened up. Okay, so it's supposed to open up a little bit more like that and like that, and this second frame part should be in there about like so. Something like that. Is it too much open? It looks a little bit too opened up, but no, I guess that's right. Should look like that. A lot of stuff stacked on top of it. And this part here, for the main top part, I put this part here in wrong, I know, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think it should be fine. As it is like that. These. Now I do also plan on doing a little bit of dry brush weathering on this, so it's not totally completely done at the moment. I do want to do just a little bit more to it. Man, it's tight fit on these parts. I don't know if that's because of the Armor Komodo products, like the base paint and the pigment, if it just makes it really super tight fit, or if it's just because of it's like bootleg parts. I didn't pre-assemble this at all before doing the painting, so maybe I should have just to test it, but they're well tight on here. Alright, let's see. Hey, Zach, isn't that upside down? No. It's not upside down according to the manual. It looks upside down because the shield, I mean, this is the right side up, and so the shield is actually supposed to point up that way. But yeah, usually it's held by the unicorn venom. Usually, like when it's held on the arm, it's usually held upside down, so no, it's not upside down. At least I don't think. I could be putting it together wrong. Uh-oh, shit, and I'm also realizing I don't want this part on the back of there quite yet, so take that off. This part, though, is proving to be very tight. Yeah, come on. Just go on there. There you go. Alright. Enough. Okay, that's on there. This part, where's that? Where did that part go? Hey, it's this part. Second frame part onto here. Just like that. That's it. No. Here. That's right. Okay. And, alright. Getting nervous. Really not trying to mess this up at all, if possible. EOS, you know what build is this now? Is MG Phoenix? No, this is the high-grade narrative Gundam C-Packs that I've been working on. And the manual is really unclear here as far as I can tell. But that looks like... Is that right? Oh, yeah, that's right. Onto here. This side. Like that. And that goes on to this side. Yeah, I guess this is a good lesson in why you should pre-assemble stuff before painting. So if stuff's really tight, you can make adjustments before you have to try to assemble it while it's painted and super tight. That's going to be opened up. Alright, let's put this part here on top first. Just close that back up a little bit first. This part here on top of there. Because yeah, the other thing that was kind of tricky about this was I wasn't sure which parts are actually going to be covered with paint or not. Which is another reason why doing pre-assembly is good. You know which parts you actually need to paint, which parts don't need to be painted. So I was kind of nervous I was going to leave out areas that were meant to be painted. Alright. And then I'm going to take this part. Oh shit. So that needs to go on to here. It's a big boy shield. And this part over the back. Close that up. And yeah, I think I need to do some touch-up painting on some parts of this. Fill in some of these parts that are going to show a little bit more than I was expecting. There we go. Close that up. And then these parts here on the front. Fit into there. And here. Like that. And we can pop these parts out. To the side. Open those out a little bit like that as well. A little more. Like that. Alright. I guess that's that. There you go. There's our armed armor DE shield. Does that look right? I guess so. Let's see. Those parts are supposed to be opened out a lot more. It's okay. Yeah. Something like that. There you go. Anyway, that works. Now for the actual main body of the mobile suit. That's what I'm more excited to see. Let's put together the head first, because the head looks super cool. Very carefully take these parts apart, and where's the part for the inside of the head? Huh? Huh? Where is that? Am I missing something? That's my narrative kind of instructions. Oh yeah, that part. That's what it is. Alright. Alright. Yes, this eyes part goes on here, and the face part on here. And then into back of the head. There, onto the front of the head. Ooh, yeah. I'm liking that orange that I used for the eyes and camera on this. I'm liking it. Wasn't sure which color to go with for the eyes, but I think orange came out looking pretty good. So yeah, I like that. Very nice. Cool. Sorry, guys. Torso. Yeah, so that part and this part. These parts, that part, this part, these, and these, and these, and these. I think that's all for the torso. So yeah, that part is all assembled. It's gold parts plug into the side of here. I think these like front chest vent parts also look super cool in gold. At first I was not going to make them in gold. I was going to just make them in just like kind of mechanical gray, but I'm glad I went with gold for those chest vents because it looks really super cool. Reminds me of like the F91's like gold radiator fins. Then we got these parts for the side of the torso. Plug these onto here and here. There we go, and the cycle frame parts on top of that. Yeah, this is where we'll see if my cycle frame is really too bright blue or not. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Here and here. Circular smooth flat. What's the best top coat to buy? Dwayne, the top coat that I really love using is, that's strange. The top coat that I love using is Mr. Color Flat Clear, just out the airbrush. It's my preferred top coat, but it's not like a super duper flat finish. It's like a little bit of like a satin kind of finish. And I like the look of that, but it may not be what you're going for. Ooh, don't do that. Come on then. Just go in there nicely. There we go. Alright. Then the neck part, I'm gonna do that too. And the collar piece is where? Here. It's the neck up through the collar. And then onto the torso. Like that. And the patch over the top. Like that. Ooh, very nice. And the center part, and we'll go to here, and this part fit around that, like so, and this part up on the bottom of that. Here, up into there. Oof. I think I got lucky, and then wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but it looks like it's gonna work. I think so. Still not sure, but it's gold. Looks pretty cool so far, I think. Let's build the backpack here too. Oh yeah, backpack parts are up here. You like my custom build and my Evangelion too? Yeah, two gold custom builds back to back. It's kind of funny. Never really been a big gold guy myself, but what do you know? It's there. I think the contrast between all the glossy gold and Psycho Frame compared to the matte finish of like some of these parts here, I think will be pretty cool looking. Bits here on the top of the backpack. Ooh, is that? How much of that is going to show? It's part of the backpack here that I didn't cover very well. It looks like that is going to show. Damn, a little bit more than I expected. Oh yeah, shit. Not really a whole lot I think I can really do about that at this point without repainting that whole part. But I'm going to see what I can do about that. Didn't know as much of that backpack was going to show like that. But, alright. Anyway, the thruster bell's in there. Here and here. That. Alright. That's that part. Hey, do you know how to turn clear red Psycho Frame into clear blue? Well, you can't. You have to make it not clear. That's the problem. Foot. You can turn the... What's up, Inked Gunpla? You can turn a clear Psycho Frame red into blue Psycho Frame, but it won't be clear anymore. And this part on here, right, is that backwards. Don't want to put that in backwards. There, and then this part here, front of the foot. There, and the knee joint, and the second front part for this too. Where did that go? Oh, let's see. So cycle frame, how does it fit on top of here? That is together like so. And hey, that's the wrong side. That's that side. We need the other one. This one. That's like that, and then the second frame part fit over the top of that. This one. This one? Yes. Like that. And our knee joint inside there. Close that up. The thigh and the joint. That and there. All right. Let's see. And then lower leg. And then we also need this part. These. These. Those. These knees. And then which side? This one do we need? This one. Okay. Pop these parts apart. And where's that? There it is. Go into here. Like that. And onto the knee joint. Close this up. There we go. Some more second frame parts. Here and here. Hang on. What? Where do those parts go? Not in the leg? What? Ah. Ah, yes, in the back strap, that's right. I was thinking there was thruster bells up underneath the back of the leg there, like with the unicorn Gundam. Right? But no. So that goes up inside there, like that, and the extra set of the other set of thruster bells goes in the back skirt, not on the back of the legs. Alright, so that cycle frame part is there, and then this one on the front of the foot, front of the shin there. And then these parts here on the side of the leg. And I gotta be careful with these. It's kind of very easily broken. I already found out. that, and then the front of the leg. Here and here. Okay, and the ankle armor. Here and here. Let's go ahead and just pop our foot in. Now we're here. This part here on the front. The leg goes in first, and then the knee, and then the knee. Hey? What? Ah. Yes. Missing this part. That would explain why that was looking strange. Really worried there for a second that I put together something wrong. Here we go. Then that will fit over the top of here. Like that. Right? That's it? I guess so. Yep, like that. Okay. So that's one leg done. Like the look of that. It's looking pretty good. I think. Alright, so let's get this other leg put together then. This one. This one. This one. This one. And this one. Alright. This one. This. These. These. Okay. Where were we? Foot part goes on first. Then this ankle part. And it's a little bit here on the front of the foot. And our thigh. It's like a frame over the top of that. Over the top of that. And knee joint. In there. Close that up. Close that up smoothly. Hip connector here. Lower leg. That apart. This is the front. This way. Connect that into there. Close this back up. Like that. Cycle frame in the back. Shoot. Okay. Why aren't you shooting into place? Who's not lined up properly? There we are. Alright, and the cycle frame part on the front of the foot. Front of the leg. Parts on the back. Here and here. Give those a squeeze. The front half of the thighs. Here and here. front of the shin. Knee. Here and here. Ankle armor. Here and here. Connect. There we are. Onto the foot. And there's our second leg done. Yeah, the difference between the two tones of gold, not that noticeable. You can kind of see it, it's there, but it's not super apparent. But it's looking good, and I think the blue is going to work just fine. I was worried the blue was too bright, but I think it's okay. The legs is one area where it particularly does have a lot of showing cycle frame, and it doesn't look that bad, so I think we're alright. So let's get these arms put together. Then next, all of these parts here, here, here. We've got 3 hand covers, and I only painted 2 of the hands for some reason. Just only 2 hands that I need. I don't know why I painted all 3 hand covers though. Also need these. And these. And be mindful. I also am going to need to put an Aurora sticker in for the camera of the beam rifle. I'm doing that this time. Instead of painting that, I'm just going to use an Aurora sticker. Are these hand covers different? Yeah, this is the specific one for the rifle hand. Here and on the beam rifle. Close that up. There, like so. There's a beam rifle. And arm. Okay, so which is the left and right? Let's build. Well, this part's gonna be the same anyway. For the left and the right. So build this part first, and these go onto here. Cycle frame parts here and here. I've also been having trouble thinking of a name for this. DJ Soundwave also asking about the Gunpla thing on YouTube. I guess I need to look into that because apparently it's a bigger deal than I expected. Because you're about the 5th person I think to ask about that. Would seem more appropriate to use a beam magnum. Yeah, I didn't want to use a beam magnum. I thought about that, but I didn't. Because just the armed armor shield thing was enough. Like this. Okay. It's easy enough. This would be the right side, so that's going to plug into there. Then opposite. Arms are a little bit less complex than the legs, so these go together pretty easily. The legs also not super complex, but they have a lot more parts going on with them. And the other hand is here. Like that, and like that. Okay. Then just the shoulder armor. This one. Pull that apart carefully. Yeah, come apart. There we go. And into there. Close that up. Then this bit over the end. Right. Pay attention when doing the correct one. This one over the top of that. That, and then this part over the front. And cycle frame. Here, crap, now I have to do this one. Get over the top of that, and this other bit of cycle frame goes through a tail bit out like this. Okay, and back side. Just cover that up, and then this part like that. Okay, there we are. And there we are. So a lot of cycle frame there on the shoulder. Let's see. Let's just wait a minute until we've got everything ready, then we'll put everything together all at once. 3 builds in 1 live stream, isn't that illegal? Yeah, this one I guess not technically, a little bit different than the first 2 builds. So it's more of an assembly than a build, I guess, but yeah, same difference, I suppose. Alright. We got just a lot of stuff to do, so we're just knocking out 3 things at once, yes. Yeah, just try to be really careful with those cycle frame parts. It's the kind of part like you need to push it into place. You need to apply pressure in like one really specific spot, but it's really kind of hard to press that without scratching the paint. So I'm just trying to be really careful. That, and then the arm is ready. There we go. Now just the waist, and then we'll be done. This here. Well, done for now. Like I said, I would want to do a little bit of weathering. Dry brush, sorry about that. Camera knock there. A little bit of dry brush weathering on this, and I need to finish up the base, and then it will be done. All right, waist section is here. So these thruster bells go onto the cycle frame bits here. Oof, it's tight. There we go. And this one. Into here. And these plug into the back of here. I think I maybe goofed by putting these parts on first, but let's see. They're supposed to fit in. Yeah. Damn. Shouldn't have put these parts on here first. Shoot. Pop them out carefully. Try to anyway. I'm not sure if I can put this in here without taking that apart. But strange. Uh-huh. Well, that's weird. Somehow I kind of managed to put this on the wrong way anyway. I'm dumb. Okay, so that one, where did that go? Where did that one go? There it is. That one is meant to go. How? What? Into there, like that. And this one. Uh-oh. Come on then. Where's the slot for that? And this one onto here. Okay. Alright, there we go. Two-tone, but I can't tell you where. Yeah, the two-tone is not very noticeable. The two different tones of gold. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me too much. It's very slightly noticeable, but I would much prefer to have it like that than it be too contrasting, so I'm kind of okay with that. Alright, so there's that. Let me take this part off. There we go. And this one will plug onto the back of here. Okay. Like that. And this one over the top of that. Okay. Cool. That covers that up. And then that part in there like that. Okay, we got that. And then these parts, this part will fit into the top of here. Very carefully, this really super tiny piece up into there. Hey, come on. Too tiny. I need this. Or I need this. Okay. This part is too tiny. To fit up inside of there. Come on, man. Come on. Get into place. No, not like that. Man. Yes, there we are. Alright. And these parts on the front of here, and then this part into the front of here. And then, alright. Then our legs onto here. Like so. Other leg onto here. Come on. Polycap's turned. Annoying. Yeah. Come on now. That's so annoying. Polycaps just keeps turning. Onto there. Just go on. Get on there, will ya? Yeah, alright, there we go. put on our side skirts. Here and here. And top half. And arms. Yep. And the other arm. Yep. And what do you guys think? Think it came out pretty good. Certainly gold. All to think. And we gotta see how the Armed Armor DE part looks on here as well. I think it's gonna be a little bit precarious getting this connected onto there quite right, but let's see. It's using the connector from the original kit, so it should work fine, but just need to turn that upside down. Uh-oh. And just broke that. That part is not turnable. I put it the wrong way, so I need to just re-glue that part onto there because it actually needs to hold it like this rather than like that. I'll need to re-glue that. Oops. And this, why is that seems very loose? This connection here. That was not plugged in all the way. The waist. Is it now? Or is it not? Ah, fuck. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I have to fix this connector for the shield. But it will be on there like that. And just because of the nature of this shield, kind of just how it is, I think maybe an action pose will probably look better for this. But anyway, it's something. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Obviously you can't see it like super well now just on the live stream. You'll be able to see it better in like an actual video, so I'll work on getting the video ready for this and wrap up the stream now because we've been on it for very long enough. And that's it for today, guys. Like I said, plan for the rest of the day is maybe just finishing up this and working on a new episode of Gunpla News. So there you go. Any last questions? Anything? That's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Glad this is done and got some more cool stuff to work on. So, yeah, of course, as always, you guys in YouTube there are mentioning, of course, thanks to USA Gundam Store, of course, for their support in giving me a job to be able to do this, hang out with you guys. And so, yeah, very cool kit. And I think it looks pretty good in gold. So I'll just do some finishing touches on this and have a finished video for you guys very soon. In the meantime, yeah, let's see. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.